Good morning, everyone. It's me, KP. I'm here in my studio, The Moon and the Maker, and I'm here for day, oh my goodness, 8 of Stamp Down to Christmas. And I think it's day 8. You guys will have to help me keep track. With the weekends and my one Friday off, I can't remember. So we're just going to keep saying that we're stamping down to Christmas and doing a different little coloring of an image from one of our RubberMoon artists all throughout the month. So we're super excited to be here and doing this little project. Today I am going to be using Joni Hallmark's Frida stamp. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I'm in love with it, of course. And any time is the right time for a Frida, at least in my book. And it's a wonderful image. So even if you're not a Frida lover, of course, you can manipulate this and make it your own. I love her whimsical quality. I love her patterning and I love the size of it. So I thought it would make a great image to color, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to be stamping on an old book page, and I know it's sort of hard for me, I'm not going to lie, to like desecrate a book, but I bought this or I think I bought it at a secondhand store, or I don't know. I can't really remember exactly, but it already had the cover ripped off and some pages missing, so I didn't feel too bad about it. And I really like a lot, as you can see, if you kind of look through here, I like to, well, now I'm not opening any of the pages, but I do like to cut little words out. You can see some of this has already been gone through. So I just like to try to choose pages that might have words on it that I like to highlight, and things like that. But if not, you can just gesso over the whole thing and stamp right on it like I've done here, and then proceed to color in with whatever you want. You should be able to use markers over the top of this, or colored pencil, any medium really that you like. You could do right over the top. Even a little wash of watercolor would work, as long as you didn't get too heavy-handed with the water. So this one, again, I gessoed the page, just stamped right on it using my black Moonlight Duo ink. I know you probably can't really see that that's a terrible thing to show you on camera, because I know you can't really even see the writing, but the Moonlight Duos look like that. And they do have, as you know, if you've used them, the hue on one side and the tinting pad on the other. I really like the ink in here, so I often just use the hue side for stamping. Okay, so anyway, I gessoed this page using a little bit of my regular white golden gesso. I let it dry, and then I stamped the image right on here. And of course, let that dry, and you can color in again with any medium. For the one that I want to do for our demo today, did it just a little bit different. I went ahead and stamped it directly on to my book page. And of course, I love the feel of an old book page. The paper is really porous. Sometimes it can be a little, especially if it's very old, it can be a little brittle, so you might want to be aware of that. But stamping directly on the page, of course, it makes it sort of muted. You don't really see the detail very well, but that's okay. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. And again, if you want it a little crisper and brighter, then of course just gesso over the whole thing. Okay, but here I've already gone and started mine. So I just, as you can see, stamped it again using black Moonlight Duo ink and let it dry. And then I'm just going to gesso around. And I'm going to stop and just say hi to Jan and Becky and Estrella. Good morning. Right, Janice, right? Who cares what day it is? We're going all the way to Christmas, and I think we're going to even bring in the New Year. I mean, obviously, we probably won't do Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, but I say we just stamp down to 2020, right? Yeah, Jan, I do want to do that also. And so hopefully for 2020, we will do a black and a white solid. Okay. It wouldn't be called the Moonlight Duo, though. It would just be, we'll call it I don't know, just a moon pad. I don't know. All right. Anyway, so stamp your image using whatever ink that you like, something that probably is going to be waterproof, because you will, probably be painting on this. But of course, if you're going to use a dry media like colored pencil, then you can use any ink you want. All right, good morning, Libby and Deborah. And Deborah, I never know if I should call you Debbie. Please remind me. If you'd rather be called Debbie, I would rather call you that. Also, while you're doing this, maybe you want to look for a word that you can, that sort of fits in or that you like. Here you had destiny and freedom. I don't know. I don't know if there's really a word that makes sense for this image, but if you find a word that you like I did here, I found unlimited possibility. I went ahead and gessoed around that so it would stand out a little bit. Okay. So on this one, let's see. I don't know. Here's one that says abundance. Let's keep that out. Okay. That's a nice word, and it is in the right spot. So we'll keep that one out. And the rest you can just gesso. If you want to keep the header or the number at the bottom, do that. I think it adds a little bit of interest, but in this case, nah, I'm just going to blot it out. Now, a lot of the words are still sort of legible through the gesso, which makes for a nice little bit of texture. But if there's anything, once you get your image on here, if there's any words that you don't want to stand out, like sometimes when I've been working this way, I find some words that I definitely don't want to show. So then I'll just make sure to really give a nice extra coat of gesso over that. Okay. And I'm going around the image. And on this one, unless it had a significant number, if for some reason there was a number that you liked, you could keep that showing as well if it had some significance. And I'm just moving really quickly and sort of going up to the image. All right, so there I pretty much have my gesso laid out around the image. And of course, if you want to even it up a little bit, if it looks kind of sloppy, then fix it up however you like it. All right, and then also I'm going to take a little bit smaller of a brush. And I'm just going to, and this is just for my own, I don't know, this is just what I feel like will help a little bit. I want to smush out some of the detail. I want to get a little bit of gesso down in here. So I'm going to just work kind of loose and sort of thin. I don't want thick globs of gesso. And I'm just going to hit some of these areas that I might want to push back some of the letters, the words coming through, like definitely on her neck and face. And it's going to blot out a little bit of the detail again, but it's okay. I'm going to go back over that. And I'm not doing it all over. I'm just doing a little bit, and it's very light, as you can kind of see. And what that's going to do, it's going to help not only kind of grab some of the pencil or crayon that I'm going to be using, but it will help it to be a little brighter as well. Okay. So, okay, Deb, that's great. That makes me feel better. At certain times people write their name, go by their full name, and then I like to call you what you prefer to be called. And let's see. I'm just reading the comments real quick. Jan, all right, I get your point on the pads, and I think it's a great idea. So we'll do it in 2020. All right, so now, of course, you're going to want that to dry. You can hit that with your blow dryer a little bit, but as you can see, I already have this one done. And I am today going to be using something a little bit different for coloring. Remember, I said we're going to do something, or, it might not be different every single day, but we're going to switch it up a bit. So right now what I have my watercolor, my water soluble crayons. Okay. I have a few different brands. I have Stettler, which are called Carrot Aquarelle. I never say this right, so please excuse me, but Caran d'Ache of the Neocolor 2. aquarelle crayons, and then I also have some Lyra aqua color. Okay, so all these are crayons, or they act like a crayon, kind of waxy, but if you want to move or manipulate them, they will move with water. Oh, I did that off camera where you can't even see. You can see how nice and rich the color is. They're very blendable. And all three different brands do work together. You can see they look really vibrant and rich like a crayon, but they will move and blend with water. Okay. And so I have a few colors of the different brands of crayons here, water soluble crayons. And then I also have a couple different pencils. This is a Derwent Inktense Ink Black. But I also have just a black charcoal pencil. I'm only going to be using the pencil, so you could use a Prismacolor black pencil, or, you know, dark color, regular colored pencil if you want. I'm using these to sort of redefine some of my details that I will lose, okay? So I want to say good morning to Juliet, and did I already say hi to you, Libby? I hope I did. So thanks for joining me again. Anyway, I'm just going to start coloring in. And you can see where I did hit some of those areas with gesso. And like I said, it's just going to make it a little more vibrant when I color in, and it'll help sort of grab some of the crayon a little bit better as well. Sometimes too, I will just give you a little hint or a tip that I like to do. If I have lost a lot of detail, you know, of course, if you have the stamped image where it's kind of nice and crisp, right, handy where you can look at it, then you can sort of you know, fill in a little more precisely. Not that I really feel a need for this to be super precise. I don't, because you all know I love to just explore with the images and sort of make them my own. So it's not going to bother me if I don't have it all perfect. And honestly, right now I'm just kind of looking and deciding where I want to add extra color, you know, like, you know, deciding on my colors is usually always the hardest part. So I am, since I'm sort of debating right now what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and just start filling in some of the details back in again, and maybe like darken her hair a little bit again. And I was sort of thinking it might be nice for this one to go ahead and fill in, even though you can see on her dress there's a lot of black dots, but I think I'm feeling like I want to go in and make the background of her dress black. So that's what I'm going to do. And it'll be kind of fun. I can always go back in and fill in those and make those dots white if I wanted to. And again, since I did lose a lot of the detail, I'm just going to kind of wing it. And again, It'll change it up just a bit and make it my own, but that's okay. I kind of like that. And one thing that's kind of fun too, you can, when you do things like this, if I wanted to extend her dress all the way down, I could easily do that. And I've even thought that possibly, I haven't tried this, but taking her and holding it upside down, if you didn't have very far to go, like I only have maybe half an inch, I could probably use the bottom of her dress and sort of realign it back up to make it a little bit longer. So just wanted to share that with you as I was sort of thinking about that. All right, her cheeks need a little color, so I'm going to use this pale pink. One thing, another little tip, when you are using these is to make sure to color off on a piece of scratch paper, because if the tip of your crayon is dirty, you will easily smudge and make a big mess. The other thing I like to do is keep a piece of sandpaper handy, and that will help sharpen them if you want to bring it back up to a point. And I like to do blending right on the paper, so I'll use a lot of colors that you can sort of make gradients with. All right, and then again, going back in to fill in a few little details using my black pencil. And then finally, I am going to take sort of a small little detail brush and my white gesso again. And I'm going to just add a couple dots to the whites of her eyes, because there is some little words right back in there that are sort of coming through, and I know it's a little thing, but it makes her face look really messy. So I am going to just blot out a couple of the little textural words back there, just again to sort of fix up her face. And then I'll go back in again and finesse it a little bit with color. And then if you wanted to smush it with just a tiny bit of water, and again, because it's on a book page, I wouldn't do a lot, but you definitely can move it just a little bit. And not only will that sort of enhance it a little bit, but you can do a tiny bit of like shading. And you can remember the pencil that I used is also water soluble. That's a Derwent water soluble pencil. So I can pull a little bit of that black through and pump it up a little bit. Again, just be really light-handed with the water, okay? So a little more greenery back there. And then I also do want to take that same little detail brush and a little white gesso. Of course, you could use your white paint marker or whatever you have handy. And I want to go ahead and throw some white dots back into the mix where the black dots would have been. All right. Smushing with a little more water too, just to pull that around. All right, and then I think her face just needs a little touch up with some more, a little bit more skin tone, I guess you could call that. And voila, you have Stamped Down a Christmas Day number 8, right? So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed that because I sure do. I love the look of this. I think that you could easily, you know, of course, just attach this to a card. It would make a great journal page. Or of course, if you do an image that you or someone that you love really is into, then you could frame it and give it as a gift. So, woohoo. Anyway, thank you again for joining me for another day during our exciting Stamp Down to Christmas. And I will see you hopefully back here tomorrow. Well, not hopefully, I will be here. Hopefully you will too tomorrow morning at 11 for day number 9. Thanks again. Have a great day. I hope you get to go get makey, and I'll see you and talk to you soon. Bye. Love you to the moon and back.